First,
Why am I yellow?
Justin's driving a ship into the sun.
Fuck it, I'll be yellow. I don't care. I'm infected.
Did you change the color temperature?
I might have. I took this thing to shoot a concert the other night.
What, you can't just fix it real quick?
It's really hard when it's up on the... because it's behind my whole setup.
Ugh.
I'm infected.
Ew, it looks bad.
You want me to fix it?
Maybe a little. Harry gets up out of his chair the same way every time. I'm a man of my word.
Do you remember The Dark Knight?
I'm a man of my word.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna hold the camera like this.
Jesus Christ.
Alright, let me fix this real quick.
Mind focus.
Yeah. I can't tell.
How's that?
Chad. It's pretty good. That's better color.
Justin, look. It's Chad's casting couch.
Oh, yeah. It is. Wow. We get to see where it all happened.
Ew.
Damn it, Chad, are you going to play the song? I was going to.
Oh my god.
That was my joke. To be fair, I didn't learn it. I didn't learn it.
Okay, well
What
then
the
you
fuck are you
can't,
complaining
can't
about?
claim it.
I watched
then.
Ellie play it. I know how to play the
Holy
goddamn
shit.
song.
Don't scream into your microphone like that.
I can do whatever I want.
Talking away. I don't know what's left.
What are the chords?
C sharp minor. Want to sing, Al?
I don't know the words. Hold on.
Talking away. I don't know what's left to say. I'll say it anyway. Today's not my day to find you. Shine away. I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me. Take me on. I'll be gone in a day or two. Well,
Thanks, Ellie.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. You need to do it a little bit more baby voice-ish next time.
Yeah,
but-
Chad's like all deep voice.
talking away.
Oh, that's it.
And I don't know rush. Left to shine, shinier than anyone. Today's not my day. Finally, you shine away.
Yeah, you gotta do the cursive singing.
I'll be coming for your love, okay?
Oh my god. No.
Me. Turn on me. Take me on. Now be gone in a day or two. Tired.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Ellie did any cursive singing, but
She did a tiny bit.
yeah.
Could you
but
explain what cursive singing is?
It's like the coffee shop jams that you hear.
Kind
Kind of Regina Spektor-y type stuff.
Okay. Let's watch what we're saying there.
Sorry, early night. Early night.
We have bananas and avocado.
Do you know the band Head in the Heart?
Yeah.
They have this one song called Rivers and Roads, and she does a lot of cursive in it. She goes, Rivers and roads. Rivers and roads.
That's beautiful.
Chelsea's gonna kill you for that.
I know. I love Head in the
Yeah.
Heart. Just putting that out there.
All right. So, Allie, you want an intro?
Yeah. This week on the podcast, we are revisiting The Last
This
of
week
Us.
on Total Dogshit.
Well, I was saving that for is it?
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, it's my first intro. This week on Total Dogshit, the squad revisits The Last of Us. As we take a journey through the last 3 episodes, we debate: is it still total dogshit? Wait, I it up. Hold on. You have to
Is
edit.
it good?
Is it good? Or is it total dog shit? Wow, that intro is total dog shit.
It's fine. It's fine.
The next episode was Allie's intro total dog shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, show a replay of it.
It was on the spot.
Some quick housekeeping things. So, Justin told me that his friend Cody, who watches the show, thinks that I am the biggest hater on the show.
Yep.
But I just want to point out that Justin is, in fact, the biggest hater. And the reason this is called Total Dogshit is because he calls everything total dogshit. He doesn't like anything.
I think just because Justin is a muse for a title doesn't mean that he's the most negative.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I was hanging out with Justin yesterday, and he was just digging into a show. He was talking total dog shit against it. And as he's doing it, I ask him, where is this on the podcast? He talks so much shit off camera, and when he gets on camera, he goes, you know what? All art is beautiful, and I love everything about The Last of Us, and I have no complaints.
Well, I mean, maybe this week.
Oh, that's disappointing. I thought Chad was cooking up a fart and he was finally going to show the viewers what he's made of.
This week, yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
Also, Honora is our highest viewed episode, so I think that means I get a pick every time.
I
No.
think what happened is you finally posted about it on your Instagram,
Yeah.
which was a strategic move on your part.
No, you want to know what really happened?
Yeah.
Is if you look at the watch through time, it's like 3 minutes, which is one of the lower rates. So I think it's because I put a stripper at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
People saw it started playing, they're like, whoop, boobs.
And then they're like, oh, it's just a podcast.
Maybe we should put strippers at the top of every episode.
Yeah, and then our watch time will be garbage.
Yeah.
But our view counts go way up.
We could like splice in little, frames of boobs throughout.
I'm not going to be able to share this podcast with anybody.
Well, Mom would still watch it.
Mom barely watches it now.
I know. Mom's like talking like she's the queen of the podcast and she watches every episode. And then I asked her and she's
She'd be like,
Well,
I
got
told
like
Justin
20 minutes in.
I didn't watch the whole thing. Yeah.
She doesn't watch like we think she does.
And then you call her out. You'll be like, oh, we talked about that on the podcast. And she'll be like, oh, yeah. Which means she didn't watch it.
Man, I don't even remember what happened on the... So I had to watch 2 hours of The Last of Us last night.
I watched them all yesterday.
Ugh.
That's Let's start there.
I've given up, and you guys are
Oh,
forcing
no.
me to watch it. So I had to watch 2 hours last night, and I don't even remember what happened on the episode before the 2 hours.
I'll tell you.
Well, we're doing episodes 2 through 5.
Yeah.
No, three
through
through
Yeah.
five.
five.
So I don't remember what happened in episode 3.
I'll tell you. It opens up with like the fire and the devastation.
That they
And-
caused.
Yes, that they caused themselves. And then Tommy is washing off Joel's body, which I thought was pretty sad. And he said, "Give Sam my love." Heartbreaking. And I wrote, "Oh, I like where it's picking up. I'm happy it didn't just like scoot too far in the future. Like I'm happy that it's starting off with this." And then literally as I wrote that down, it goes 3 months later.
So wait, you had to watch 3 hours of The Last of Us last night?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot.
Well, I wanted it all to be fresh. Thank you.
I tried going back and watching episode 3, but I was like, ugh. And I turned on the rehearsal.
Yeah, the only thing that's getting me through The Last of Us is knowing that the rehearsal's coming on next.
Yeah.
Because that show it's killing me. I did not like season 1, season 2. I love it.
No, yeah, season 1 of the rehearsal was good.
I liked some of it, but it wasn't. It coming off of Nathan For You, it just, I don't know, it wasn't as good. But this season of the rehearsal is cracking me up.
What podcast am I in?
Well, season 3 or episode 3, The Last of Us, it was kind of like, I don't want to say boring, but it was kind of boring, and then it just turned into them on like a camping road trip.
Teen drama.
That's the next one.
Yeah, this one. Okay, I'm safe to say, episode 3 was kind of total dog shit, because it was like the town meeting. Ellie's speech was lame AF. Like the old guy, the homophobic guy, gave a better speech than Ellie did.
And
Of course, they're gonna vote no. That speech was dog shit.
they're doing the whole Game of Thrones thing where when there's something important to be said, they're cutting away from characters. Like when the Starks when Jon Snow tells the sisters that he's actually a Targaryen, and then instead of getting to see that play out, they cut to other characters and you just have to use your imagination. They did that on The Last of Us with Tommy. Like, I would like to see Tommy finding out about Joel, and they just didn't want to go there.
So I don't really like what they're doing with Tommy, because in the game, he's also really upset, and like he leaves first
Yeah.
to go track them down.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's taking a wimpy approach to
Wimpy
this.
Well-
and... Go ahead, Harry.
Focus.
Chad, you got it.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Wimpy
Perfect.
and
Well, Allie's taking the
Glittering
perspective of the racist old man in the town hall that they had. Everyone just needs to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get out there. But that whole scene where Ellie does her speech, the whole time I was comparing it to the scene in Chernobyl when Craig Mazin, the creator, the director of the show, created a scene that was so compelling. It was the lead character explaining how a nuclear reactor works and how the Chernobyl disaster happened. And it was just like, that speech was so compelling. I was like glued to the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And the speech that Ellie gave in this, I was kind of checked out.
Ellie, did you see Chernobyl?
I don't think I finished it, but I've seen
Great.
parts of it.
Yeah, a lot of the show just makes me think of other things, other shows. It makes me think of the game. And that's not a great thing for the show. I wonder how it is watching it not knowing the game, because now I've gone back to just comparing it to the game, because I'm pretty not into it.
There's a lot of times when especially in episode 3, where it just wasn't that interesting and the characters weren't like, I felt like there should have been a lot more emotion in episode 3, because it's the episode after Joel dies.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see people find out that he died. I wanted to see more, like, in the beginning stages of that, like people being upset.
Did anyone hear that dove?
Turtle Dove?
Turtle
Yeah,
dove in the
there's
background.
one that hangs out in my fireplace. There's a dove in my fireplace. I don't know why.
Dude.
Yeah, I'll smoke him out.
all of us were like,
I've learned to tone it out.
I expected you to say that it was on your porch.
Yeah, me
No, it's
too,
in the
but it's
fireplace.
in the fireplace.
Oh my
Well,
god.
It's
Well,
a good metaphor for The Last of Us somehow.
to
Dove
me,
in
it
the
just...
fireplace. It's about to be lit on fire. It could have been a beautiful thing. But they're
Well,
incinerating it.
To Allie's point about like us hearing the weight of Joel's death, it just goes to show that some of these choices they're making in the show are having real impact on some other emotional moments that you should be having. By having the big horde scene at the town, having that overrun while Joel's getting killed, there's now a lot more deaths in the town, and Joel's death seems less important because you're now dealing with like 2 planes of action where the whole town lost people. Like every bunch of people died, while in the game it was just Joel, and so you got to really focus on that. But now we have this comparison of like which one's worse, and none of us care about what happened in the town at this point. It's kind of a pointless thing. It was just to get action
Yeah.
in the show.
One of the things that I thought was really silly is when Ellie gets out, she gets permission to get out of therapy or wherever the heck she was, and she meets up with Dina, and they're like chit-chatting, and Dina's like, yeah, they were this group, and she's like furiously writing, and then she has to be like like, why did you have to draw that it was a wolf? Like, that is so silly that she drew their logo.
Yeah, it would have been funny if it was Dick Butt or something.
Oh, splice that in.
We should, like, one of us should be like making a point, and but we are actually just drawing the total dog shit logo frantically. It was all these markings.
Or if Dina was if she was a terrible drawer and it was just a really shitty wolf.
Stick figure wolf.
It's kind of like that. I'm not good at art.
It looked like this.
What else
like,
happened?
what is this?
She talked to Moira. That was kind of slow and pointless.
I like the
Yeah.
Moira character. I just want them to use her more or differently. Like, I don't know. I think she's interesting.
She's just going to be like an exposition character who's just going to tell you what the game did because it has less time. They just need a character to tell us things.
There's a lot of info dumping.
It feels like everything is both super rushed and super slow.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't know
Yeah.
how they accomplish that. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and the episode 5, which we'll get to, there's a lot of that. But with this episode, like, it's kind of exactly what we expected. It's post Joel death, so it's the recovery from that, and then Ellie leaves. The one thing I did like about it was in the game, Ellie leaves with Dina, but it basically just cuts and they're in Seattle. I like that they gave their trip a little bit more to it,
because I was more of the love story.
Not the love story, but just seeing them like have to traverse the land, because the whole first season was about getting from one place to another, and it was how that
Loser.
journey was, and it's dangerous to be on the road. And in the game, they're just like, all right, we're going to Seattle, and then cut, we're in Seattle. It's like, oh, I guess traveling in this world's easier.
That would also take forever.
Did it? I thought you got to play as them.
You
for a
play as them
while.
as they're entering Seattle, I thought. I don't remember them actually being on the road.
I remember you have to like
you're
climb
in
the billboard
Jackson.
and shit.
I think that's when you're inside of Seattle.
Either way, I'm kind of
I could be
separated from
wrong.
I'm separated from the game now.
At the end of episode 3, it becomes clear it's going to be one of those, oh, here's just a new big bad guy. We're just back on to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac.
Because when we ran into the scars, I wrote, who TF are these Mennonites? Because I didn't play the game, so I was like, why is there a bunch of Amish people stomping around all of a
I
sudden?
bet, having not played it, that they feel even more like Walking Dead characters.
Mm-hmm. And when Josh from Drake and Josh showed up,
Yeah, let's get on to episode 4.
I was like, here you got to be Drake and Josh and me.
That whole...
Wait, I have one more question about episode 3. What was this?
Yeah.
Why did Ellie put coffee beans? What did I miss?
Joel loved coffee.
Oh,
It was
that's
Joel's
it?
thing. Yeah, he's just a big coffee nerd.
Oh, okay.
You didn't pick up on that?
No, I was too focused on other items.
Yeah, and the bigot sandwich guy gave her a gun or something. But, like...
Ugh, yeah, and she was still insufferable. Like, he was trying to help them out, and she was still like...
Well, Allie, what you're supposed to learn from that scene is that even people with bad views and different political views can have good qualities.
Yeah, but it's also confusing because
What's that quote from, what is it, Dumb and Dumber, when he's like, so it's true. Old people, although small and dangerous behind the wheel.
Still can serve a purpose. I'll be right back.
Cripes.
God, what is that quote?
I think she got it.
I think we might have teamwork makes a dream worked it. I'm recovering from being sick, so I'm trying really hard not to like sniffle and clear my throat too much, so apologies.
Episode 4 opens with Josh Peck, right? That's his name?
Yeah, my first note.
Being incredibly annoying, like overly annoying, so we're like, oh, I hate this character.
Yeah.
And then I bashed his teeth in!
Oh, he called him a demon dumper or whatever.
I called them voters! Voters!
You know why they call them voters?
My first note for episode 4 is Josh Peck, LOL.
I think that's what mine is, too. Let me look.
I hope so.
My first note is Josh Peck meme.
Mine is Drake and Joshing me.
Are you Drake and Joshing me right now?
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah, I saw a meme when like the grenades get thrown in, and it's Drake and Josh is like at the door.
Yeah, I saw that. I kind of like the grenade part. That was cool.
Mhm.
I like. There's parts in the show where it goes there, like it gets gritty and dark,
Yeah.
but then it cuts back to this teen drama that I don't give a shit about. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's a weird dynamic. It can
In-
go there. It gets to Chernobyl levels of dark, and then it goes back.
But in the
to
game,
soap.
does the teen drama come off as like less cheesy just because it's a video game? Like you accept it more versus having to watch it on screen?
Yeah, it's less cheesy, and Ellie is more angry
Yeah, she's like mean.
and not totally into. I mean, she's really into Dina, but like the idea of her being with her somewhat stresses her out sometimes.
Yeah, and yeah, Ellie's just throughout the whole season 2, like in the second game, a lot of the criticism was because it was so much moodier and darker, and there wasn't as much of the fun, playful Ellie that you got from the first game, which makes sense. It's like she's on a revenge quest, and her revenge is what's driving everything she does. And that's built around, her character's built around that.
How
And in
come?
this one, she's so happy-go-lucky, la-di-da,
Yeah.
and
Be a dad.
the
We
Dina,
get there.
this might be jumping a little bit, but like the Dina, when Dina tells Ellie she's pregnant, in the game, it pisses Ellie off. Because she's now, like, she calls her a burden. And she's now mad that Dina's with her, and she would have rather have taken her back and go alone than have Dina there. In the show,
I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah, they're just goofing around too much.
Yeah.
They're like Ellie's slamming tank doors and they're jamming on drums.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I
And
wrote
it's like,
that in my notes. She slams the tank door, and they're all like, pull their guns out, and they're so stressed. And then the next scene, Dina is playing the drum set.
drum.
What
Yeah,
the
I
fuck?
absolutely made
Would
a
they
note about the
clear that
drums.
whole area already?
What? How did that make it through the editing room? You know, the editor had to have been like, "You sure about this?"
that whole area of the game, I liked how it was slow and you felt like you could explore without getting overrun. It wasn't super stressful. Like it had those moments where you felt like, okay, I have a
You could
moment to
chill.
breathe.
Yeah.
And then the guitar scene comes up, and in the game that was really cool because it introduces this guitar playing mini game, and it's just like, oh, what? This is cool. And then she starts playing some chords, and you're like, awesome. And then she starts singing "Take on Me," and it's just like, whoa, like this is really cool. Like I really, I really liked
Also,
it.
Justin
And then-
said that she wasn't really playing guitar, and
She wasn't.
was.
No, she was not.
I watched the after-sode thing.
She may have pre-recorded it, but she was not playing it in that moment.
I didn't say she wasn't. I said it doesn't look like she is.
No, because there were like string slide noises when
Yeah.
her hands didn't match to that. Like
well,
she was
she
playing
does
the right
know how
chords.
to play guitar.
She was playing the
I
right
know.
chords.
Now you know how I feel when the kid from Menorah was playing video games.
I
The
put,
whole time I was watching, it was like bull fucking shit.
It wasn't that. No, it wasn't that.
I put in my notes, drums, LOL. I
Yeah,
was so shocked.
I
um,
put playing drums doesn't seem smart. So
Also,
So-
Dina seems like she's the survival expert. Like she
Yeah,
seems.
I
definitely.
wrote that. I wrote that. I was
they-
like, why is Dina such a better survivalist than Ellie?
They see
Yeah.
the big tower or whatever, and Ellie's like, "All right, let's go up there." And Dina's like, during broad daylight, on a horse, and it's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. We should sneak in there." It's like, what?
Yeah, and then Ellie's like, we should find a place for the horse, and she's like, already did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it described as like she's like soft parenting Ellie, and she has to like talk down to her
Yeah.
to keep her calm.
Yeah,
like,
Ellie is such
"Good
a
job, little
child
buddy."
in this. It's hard to buy her as this survivalist badass who's on a quest for revenge and can
Yeah.
handle herself.
Yeah.
They don't present her that way, but they try to tell us that is how she is.
I think that's one of my biggest problems with it is she's not believable to me as somebody that would be trusted with these like quests. Even when Tommy was like reasoning with her or talking to her about whether or not they should go to Seattle, I was like, why is he even entertaining the idea of her being the one to do it? Like, she
Yeah.
just seems so reckless and childlike that I'm not buying it.
Well, at the beginning of this season, they were worried about Ellie being on like a patrol, let alone going on the trip to Seattle. So I don't think it was the idea of her even being accepted into the patrol had it been like a bigger group is crazy because she obviously is not prepared to do this type of mission.
I also had questions about, so at one point they said 11 years later. You're telling me in 11 years nobody cleaned up anything? Like, the Wyoming place, like the Jackson Hole place, is well established. They got a baseball team, for crying out loud. And in Seattle, like, the Fedra suits are still just lying on the ground.
Well,
Everything was still there. She was like, Fedra.
I sort of have a note about that, and this is an absolute nitpick. But the kitchen scene, though it looked cool, why in apocalypse movies are places like that, like a very nice kitchen, so run down looking? Like they're sheltered from the elements, and that kitchen just looked wrecked. Like it looked gross.
Justin, are you going to take the time to properly scrub your stainless steel in the middle of an apocalypse?
I'm just talking about like the walls. There was like shit dripping down the walls, and it's like rain coming in. It's like, why?
You don't have roofers.
Well, my complaint with that scene, or my part that I was like sticking to, is during that torture scene, you get the gas on, and I'm thinking, what are the resources? This is stressing me out. Turn the gas off.
I put as a note for that scene, surprise interrogation wiener.
Had to have it. HBO.
Yeah.
See, that's another scene where the show can go there. It can get brutal. And then we cut back to Degrassi.
Yeah, there's a little too much comedic relief, in my opinion. It just makes it like cheap and cheesy.
I didn't like his speech that much, really.
I just
During
don't,
the torture scene.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm watching a real show.
My concern
it's just
is
this cheese ball.
that little side character that he picked up from the car and he saved from the grenades. It showed him after the torture scene, and it's like, good. Fuck this, whatever.
Scar got what he
And
deserved.
I'm just like, there are 2 episodes left. We haven't seen that guy again in the previous episode. What are they doing with that guy?
They're trying to show...
Is he supposed to be someone we're like afraid of later? Because there's not enough time to develop him further.
They're trying to just show the decline of humanity.
They keep introducing characters that I know will have nothing to do with anything. It's like, I don't care about these people. Why are you showing them? Back to when, real quick, when Ellie was playing guitar, when Dina started crying and watching her, I'm like, this is not viable.
I had the same note. I thought, because I knew Dina was going to tell her she's pregnant, I thought she was crying during the song and Ellie was going to receive it as she was crying because it was so touching or whatever. But it was actually Dina was about to tell her that she was pregnant, and that would make sense why she was crying. But when it ended up being she was crying because of Ellie playing Take On Me, I was just like, no fucking way. There's no way, because I feel nothing right now.
I didn't feel nothing. I thought the cover was kind of sweet.
It was sweet, but
It was sweet, but I think it still was too... Even her singing voice makes her too young. And it makes her still unbelievable as like a badass character, to me.
Yeah.
they're just not a convincing couple.
Like, she's supposed to go get revenge, and then she's like, shying away.
Well, since we're talking about them as a couple,
To
Well,
the fun part.
well, no, there's still some other stuff we haven't talked about.
Yeah, like, what if Dina would have just shot her? She got bit.
Well, just real quick on these notes, I did like the part when they find all the people hanging, and then those guys come in, and you hear them talking, and they're hiding behind the boxes and shit. That felt like it was ripped directly from the game. Like that,
Nice.
It reminded me exactly of the game.
Yeah, especially when you can sneak upstairs when they're all in the room and they don't hear or see her. As long
And
as she
then-
walks a little quietly, she can scoot up there.
She's trying to hide behind the door, and that guy comes in, but she's breathing so loud. She's going, it's like, you're not even trying.
And then she
Yeah.
tackles him and takes him down. And
Ugh. That
kills
guy could
him.
have just jumped backwards and killed her.
There's one point where she's like hanging on with one arm. It's like, get out of here.
No, but they showed us in the first or second episode that she could take down big guys by jumping on their back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's like,
they-
It's the scene again
clicker.
from Tropic Thunder.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
But yeah, that scene was awesome. I thought it was really tense. Like when everyone
it
started
awesome?
to fan around, I thought it was the vibe was awesome. It did remind me of the game. That was one of those set pieces where I just really wanted to get my hands on the controller and actually take control of the characters. I thought it was really well done as far as mimicking a scene in the video game, which may not play well as a TV show, but it just made me really want to play the game more.
Did you catch Dina counting?
Oh yeah, not sure what she was doing there.
Yeah, what was she-
Counting
She's
how
doing.
many-
It's from the game when you can listen through walls and figure out how many there are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
She was
But why-
listening to their screeches.
But why is it Dina and not Ellie? Because in the game, Ellie does the counting. Like she can listen through walls.
Because Dina's Ellie.
So they do a lot of moments where it feels like a video game, and that can be good for moments like that. But when it's dialogue and characters, it just comes off as cheesy on television.
Yeah, well, even the video game parts that feel like a video game come off as cheesy as well when you stop and think about it. When they first entered that room where everyone was hung and gutted, they find a guy on the ground as like something bad happened here, and this dude with a bunch of arrows in his body. And the first thing I thought was, ooh, in the game, I would totally loot those arrows,
Yeah,
like
get those arrows.
pick those up. But then I thought about it, why does this guy have 5 arrows in his body? How did that scene play out? What the fuck?
The counting was cool, but it should have been Ellie.
Should have been Ellie. All these things should have been Ellie.
That's what even as somebody who didn't play the game, I kept thinking that, like, if she's supposed to be the one who's, like, out to get revenge and she was trained up by Joel, like, she does not have a lot of street smarts or survival skills at all.
Yeah, it's like Joel was training Dina the whole time secretly.
Well, he
And-
kind of was in this. It seemed like Dina was hanging out with Joel more.
And so in the second episode, the zombies are running at the town, and they're so hell-bent on getting to people that they're climbing over each other, and their limbs are ripping off, going through fences, and they're just ripping through stuff, and almost like World War Z. They're just stacking on each other and like trying to get over that wall. And then they're in the subway, and they climb on top of the bus, and they're just like, "Let me up! Let me up!"
Justin, they get on top of the bus, then they go inside the top of the bus, right? And all the zombies are trying to get in. And then the zombies do flood in from the top,
But then they go up there.
but then they run to the front of the bus and go up the top again. And there's no zombies up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of zombie convenience happening.
That scene could have been a lot cooler.
Visually, it was cool.
What if they had to still kind of fight the wolf people while the zombies were there, so they had to be real quiet, you know?
That and everybody in this show is a horrible shot until it comes to zombies. It's
Definitely.
like they're running through those spotlights to just keep running, and they're like bullets hitting all around them. Like,
Yeah.
what if they just got obliterated right here?
They're like, we are only trained to shoot at people who move like this. Ugh.
Yeah, and then and then the zombies start flooding in, and Dina's like, cap, 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 like Rick Grimes, and it's like nothing.
Yeah.
A lot of plot armor.
She went righteous gemstone on him with the shooting skills.
So then they get back to the theater. Oh, yeah, she gets bit.
Yeah.
Which, in the game, Dina finds out because Ellie takes her mask off, her gas mask, because of the spores, which we'll get to in the next episode. But she gets bit in this one. So she's got this bloody arm, and then they go to the theater, and she's like, she finds out she's immune, and she's like, I'm pregnant. And then they just go to town. She shoves her dirty arm down her pants. Doesn't even know if that's contagious, you know? She's like, "Here's
Funky
my
fingers are
zombie-
still hanging out of her
Yeah,
arm.
here's my mushroom fungus infected
Gaping
arm.
open wound.
Doing
right near,
Yeah.
right near.
That
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack about the plot holes in that whole situation.
Yeah. Like,
There's
Well,
I did
people
think it
say
was a
anything
funny.
to live, you know.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna believe her. She doesn't know if she's contagious. The arm bite doesn't matter, as if a literal fucking fungus monster didn't bite her again. And it's like there's just so many issues that
Well, and
they
then
just
she was
skip
like
over
trying
for
to
some action.
prove she's trying to prove that it wasn't like infecting her by showing her the bite, and to me the bite still looked pretty gross. She was like, "Here, look at it," and it was still bleeding.
Yeah, and there's
You're
like
so-
pus and shit coming out of it.
There's only one infection that matters in this world.
Let me put my puss on your puss real quick.
Oh my
Jesus
god!
Christ.
I hate you.
Just all right, let's just real quick. Just think about the fingernails. They gotta be disgusting.
So dirty.
Then think about they fucking rode a horse to Seattle.
Like, what are they wiping with? They're dropping, their cheeks are full of turds.
If they don't constantly have UTIs, I don't believe any of it.
Well, they definitely do now.
She found some antibiotics, and they said something about,
Yeast infection.
yeah. So it's like, I hope they grab those.
It was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Just think about the
Yeah.
smell for a second.
I can't. I don't want to.
God, I'm going to throw up.
But what about that scene turned them on to want to bang?
Because she's having a baby. I'm gonna be a dad.
Yeah, and that's where I was saying earlier in the game, this is supposed to piss Ellie off because it's now one other hurdle.
A burden.
It's going to make the revenge plot harder to achieve. And that's Ellie's entire motivation. In the game, they find out that the whole Dina, Ellie, like, is Ellie going to be infected thing happened because they're in the subway where all the spores are and they have their masks on. And during the confrontation, Ellie's mask gets cracked. And that's where Dina, who has like so much care and affection towards Ellie, then goes to sacrifice herself. She starts to take her own mask off to give to Ellie because she would rather die than let Ellie die.
Oh.
And in this one, Dina is about to shoot and kill Ellie because she's afraid of Ellie because she's been bitten. It just changes the character dynamic so much where it's now Dina's willing to just kill Ellie and barely hear her out. And in the game, Dina's willing to sacrifice herself to save Ellie.
Dina was like, "Don't make this harder than it has to be."
Yeah, would she immediately do that? Don't they have like several hours?
Sometimes at least talk it through.
In my notes, it says they don't care about the infections other than the main one. LOL. There's still a chance of any other infection.
Still a rotten, infested
Yeah, and
like,
who-
bite on her arm.
How do they know that isn't gonna spread to Dina? She just got bit and then she's rubbing some vag. It's like there's gotta be a way.
Jesus Christ.
The mushroom monsters are not brushing their teeth, so you're gonna get bit by one of those things and not be concerned.
It's still dirty.
My next note says smell. Oof.
Speaking of brushing teeth, that beef jerky really bothered me.
Oh, that
like,
really
that's
bothered
how
me
they
too.
freshen their breath.
No, I'm bothered. Absolutely
None of
not.
that was romantic at all.
They can find usable pregnancy tests 20 years after the apocalypse, but they can't find gum.
Toothpaste.
A little mouthwash, a little travel mouthwash.
There's got to be a shit ton of toothpaste in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I did giggle when Dina had the gun on Ellie, and Ellie was like, "All right, listen, just hear me out. I'm immune. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Too quiet, Justin.
You can watch me sleep, and then that will prove that I'm not gonna turn." It's just like, it was funny to me that she was just like, "Trust me, I'm going to bed."
Yeah, so Dina's got to stay up all night, get no sleep. Like,
Earlier she was like, "You're pregnant. I shouldn't have brought you to do this. Like, you can't be doing this. You're growing a child." But then later she was like, "You don't need to sleep.
stay up all night and worry. I'm getting some shut eye.
It's gonna be good for the baby."
Look, I'm going to bed. Anywho, I'm going to bed. And then she's like, "You do whatever you want to
did,
do. I'm going to sleep."
The old hawk to a. Anywho,
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. Yeah, that was pretty dumb.
But she's going to be a dad, so it's all good.
She was giving me JoJo Siwa vibes for
Yeah.
some reason. Like
She is
I
good
want
to see her.
I want to think about her like doing dirty stuff as much as I want to think about JoJo Siwa doing dirty stuff, which is 0%.
Do you think
Yeah.
Ellie got off too, or is it just Dina? Because
It
they
seemed
didn't.
like it was a one-sided adventure.
Well, we didn't see the whole. They could have swapped.
There's a lot that could have happened off camera that we don't know about. Some stinky skin slapping.
Yeah, that was just an awkward scene. I feel like Ellie's too young and young acting, and it just didn't buy it. It was awkward to watch for me.
Oh, so this is where you draw the line on sex scenes. You'll watch Poor Things, and then you see Bella
It's
Ramsey.
a great movie.
That movie sucks. And you see Bella Ramsey And then you're like, no, I can't buy it. It's not Emma Stone.
Oh, I liked on the rehearsal where it was showing Emma Stone, and he just kept referring to her as his like TV wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, didn't never say her name.
Chad was like, put some respect on my woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy she became your favorite actress.
Well, I never said that.
But we know.
She's pretty good.
Okay, so I'm going to be a dad.
I'm gonna be a dad.
It was so cheeseball.
They're just so too lighthearted for what's going
Yeah.
on.
I rewatched
whole-
that scene from the game, and it's just so much darker. And there's one kind of joke in the game version where Dina, she's telling Ellie she's pregnant, and she goes, "Don't worry, it's not yours," as like a somewhat trying to cut the tension. But even Ellie like brushes off that joke, and it's just like this kind of intense scene where Ellie ends up storming off because she's so pissed off. And it's just another example of the show's taking everything so light and fluffy. I don't believe that these characters would be so happy and lighthearted about this and start planning their future life together when Ellie's supposed to be on this dark revenge quest.
Have you seen, there's TikToks, a lot of them, where it's Ellie in the game finding out about Dina, and they just act out the whole scene, super dramatic. A 2-minute scene of them being Ellie, so mad, and then it cuts to them in the show, and it's just, I'm going to be a dad.
I'm gonna be a dad.
I mean, I'm kind of beyond the game now. I'm not comparing it that much anymore.
I am still.
Without the game, it still feels like there should be more tension there. It's way too lighthearted to be traveling across the country in the apocalypse and find out that the person you're traveling with has been secretly pregnant.
Yeah, they were farting in tents and banging on drums, and now they're just goofing.
And they should be way more stressed about like the logistics of having a baby in the apocalypse instead
Yeah.
of being like, I just was worried I wasn't gonna have the future that I saw in my head with you. Like, really? You're in the last of days and you've survived all of this stuff and you are picturing a future where you and Ellie have a baby?
Yeah.
And can we talk about the elephant that's not in the room? Pedro Pascal not being in it. How many episodes in are we without him now?
If we're talking about episode 5, then yeah.
He was in it.
When?
Yeah.
Like 5 seconds at the end there.
Oh, that doesn't count.
I
Well,
knew
we
we were
should
gonna get a
talk
flashback episode.
Yeah, that's next week for sure.
Yeah.
They're going to go to the museum.
Yeah, it's gonna be boring. Episode 5?
I wrote, it's in the air.
It
Yeah,
should have
so
been
the
in
spores.
the air the whole time.
Yeah,
They
what
like
the
avoided
fuck?
it the whole first season, but like that is the game.
Is that how it gets in the air in the game?
No, they don't vape like that. The zombies
Yeah,
were
the
vaping.
vaping was the vaping was too much.
That
I
was
like,
so-
at first I was like, oh, it's in the air. That's
Oh, dude,
scary.
sick.
Uh
Here,
oh.
check
And
this
then the
one
guy
out.
was like,
Oh, these shrooms, man.
they're like blowing circles like from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, dude, I'm like melted to the wall.
That pissed me off so much because they said they didn't want to do spores because they didn't know how to like visually do it.
Handle it.
But then they go so far to the other side. Like,
Somebody in the idea room was like, I got it.
It's such bullshit because they gaslit us so bad about spores not being in the first one. They're like, this makes so much more sense. It doesn't play visually. It just there's too much logistics that don't make sense if there's going to be an airborne virus like this. And then they just go ahead and do it anyway. And I
Yeah.
talked about this in our first episode of the podcast about The Last of Us, how there's a scene in season 2 where the fact that there's spores in the air in this basement, it matters a lot to that scene. And how are they going to do that in the show without the spores? And their answer was, fuck, we got to bring spores back because Harry's right.
They did know you were right. And it's like, that's why not introduce it in the subway?
Yeah, because then they could have done the Dina scene as it played
Yeah.
out in the game, which was way
Introduce
more
it
like...
before.
And yeah, as somebody who didn't play the game, like it was visually cool, and I was like, "Oh no, it's in the air." I didn't need them to vape it into the air.
No.
I could see it already.
yeah,
Like,
it looked cool as hell until they showed the zombies vaping, and it took me out of it. I was like, what? Why are they doing that?
That room was badass.
Did anyone else just totally space out at the opening scene because you're like, I don't care about this character, don't know who they are, let me just look at my phone for a bit?
I was cracking up because it's the server on waiting who cusses a lot, and so I pictured when the one
Oh,
woman
that's who
says,
that is.
the one woman says it's airborne. I wanted her to go, thank you for telling me, but I think I'd rather you just wash the fucking dishes and shut the fuck up.
Is that who that is?
Yeah.
Psycho babble bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, the on waiting when that lady orders the ice cream sundae or whatever, and she's like, that does sound good, and then turns into the kitchen and goes, like, that bitch needs any more chocolate. What the hell did you just do, Chad?
I didn't do that.
Bye,
Harry?
Harry.
Oh, gone.
Sorry, one sec. I gotta drop off for a second.
Oh.
Suspicious.
He's pulling a Tommy and just not being involved with anything.
He's grabbing the legs and he's pampering. He's putting baby powder.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, guys. I gotta pamper real quick.
People who don't know our family's inside jokes are gonna think we're
Talking about a baby.
strange.
Yeah, so Harry right now is pampering his wife's butt by poofing baby powder into it.
Yeah. She probably lightly stubbed her toe, and he's like, "Oh."
Oh, guys, I gotta get off. I'll be right back.
He's
Sorry,
wrapping it in,
I gotta
in
jump real
gauze. He's getting peas out of the freezer. A thermometer just in case.
Some Neosporin.
Putting it in his mouth.
This episode is full of very bad shooters as well. Oh my god. That Jesse found them.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and also like how long?
Different location.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Fast
guys
travel.
can just cut all that shit out that you just said.
What do you mean? We didn't say anything.
He could still hear us?
Yeah, I had to move. I had to give up the office.
I really liked when the infected was crying because I feel like they didn't utilize that creepiness from the game because the game is way more horror than the show is, and when you're near infected, it's like humans crying in the other room, and it's
That was
so
really creepy.
and they're like itching and scratching themselves, and I thought it was cool that they finally did a little bit of that instead of just being these crazy fast zombies.
But the fact that there were so many in there and they got out of there just fine. One thing that really bugs me is that Ellie is always like, I'll do this because I'm immune, but that doesn't mean she can't get eaten or ripped to shreds.
In the setup for that scene, they showed a leg on the ground ripped off of a body, and then they showed a torso ripped from the bottom half up. They showed that these things can tear you apart. And Ellie's like, I can get bit. It's cool.
I'm fine.
It's like no big deal.
Let me just do it.
Yeah, she was like, I can get bit a lot.
My leg can come flying off, and I'll be fine.
And I'll be
'cause
fine.
I can't get infected.
I'll regenerate it.
Just that scene, like they did so much setup, and Dina saying all these things they need to do to prepare, and they have all these weapons when they're preparing to leave for Seattle. Dina runs out of one clip, and she's
I
like,
was like,
"That's
you
it."
didn't bring any with you? You don't have any ammo, backup ammo?
Yeah, after she was like, here's my list of things that I made that we're going to bring. I'm fully prepared. I thought this through. And then she was like, oh, oopsie.
Oh,
Bullets. There's something for sure.
we forgot the bullets. God damn.
There's a scene too when when Dina gets into the cage. Ellie shoots at the cage.
I saw that.
With
Dina's in there. Good thing everybody's a bad shot in this until it comes to zombies.
And speaking of torsos and stuff, when they come across those dead bodies against the wall and they both act like they're going to throw up, it's like you've been living in this world for so long and that still is making you react that way. I get that it's hard to see, but by this time, it wouldn't be anything
And
to them.
Ellie wouldn't even react like that. Like,
No.
She's supposed to be this hardened spawn of Joel, basically.
But they've already seen people with their guts hanging down, and they see people ripped to shreds all the time.
They really overdid the Dina puking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I accepted Dina puking because later on they say it's like she was sick from pregnancy.
Yeah,
But it
then they
didn't
just
read that
kept
way.
doing it
I know.
over and over again.
But I accepted it. But it's still dumb.
I feel like a lot of Ellie's acting in these 3 episodes was her walking into a room and doing this.
Yeah, she is always so wide-eyed.
And I wanted to like her because I watched a lot of stuff about like how they're proud of their decision to cast Ellie the way that they did, and I want to get behind that. But sometimes the acting decisions take me out of what they're trying to portray.
She's not good.
Mm-mm.
It's so cheeseball most of the time.
Oh, speaking of Jesse finding them,
Oh.
two different situations in which characters decide to split up. That always bugs me. It's like me and Tommy decided to split up to cover more ground.
No,
In
they
this
would
new
never.
place you've never been. But then later, I think Ellie even says, "Let's split up."
Yeah, that's when Dina gets shot, right?
It's
when they were in the room with the crying
crying monsters.
monsters.
It's gonna flank us, so what we should do is flank it. And she was like, "We'll split up, and then if it goes after one of us, the other one can get it."
Yeah, it was like, that's the dumbest idea. Like, this whole time she's acting like she wants to protect Dina because she's the one who can get infected. And then all of a sudden there's a crying monster and she's like,
Go be bait.
we should handle this in this way. You run that way. Once it chases you, I'll come get it. I just want to know, like, how long Jesse was following them. Like,
How did he track? Oh yeah, he found their map at the theater. But how did he find the theater?
what if he had found them a little bit sooner and saw them doing a little...
I saw a comment about his explanation is, "Oh, I found the map in the theater." How do you know it was their map?
Yeah.
Say Dina and Ellie's map.
Yeah, they wrote Dina and Ellie, Dina plus
Forever.
Ellie equals forever.
It's like, how'd you find us? I heard some moaning. I may have gotten here yesterday, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh yeah, he was in the cuck chair. He was watching from the corner of the theater.
That's
He
what
was
I was
up on the
wondering.
balcony.
Like, how long did he follow them for?
Oh, in the theater, when Ellie picks up the guitar and starts playing again, out loud, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, they're
I
gonna
thought
do
we
it
were getting
again.
a full song.
I thought we were getting a full song again. I'm like, we're wasting time on this.
Well, and one of my notes, because I like to point out the stuff that doesn't matter, like the makeup and all that. One of my notes is like, put the damn guitars back. She finds that perfectly preserved guitar earlier, and she gets so excited about it and kisses the thing.
And
And
then
then
just
she
sets
doesn't
it
even
up.
put it back in the case.
Here, you
and then-
decay here.
She finds a tailor, picks it up, strums it, has a wide-eyed moment, and then just leans it against an amp. It's so irritating. She's no respect for her surroundings.
The writing overall is just so bad. I didn't like season 1 that much because it was too villain of the week and felt rushed to me. The dialogue, at least, wasn't terrible, and it felt like it was written pretty well, except for the things I mentioned I didn't like about it. But I want to do a thought experiment real quick. What do you guys think of Scary Movie 4?
It had a few funny moments.
I don't remember which one that was.
Okay.
On Scary Movie 4, they're making fun of War of the Worlds, and when the aliens come, all the cars, like all the batteries in the world don't work anymore, and nothing's working. They can't get their cars to go, and the camera's panning, and there's a dude on a skateboard, and he's like pushing, but it's not going anywhere.
Okay, what about superhero movie?
What is that?
It's one of those spoof movies.
I don't think I've seen that.
Is it called Superhero Movie?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
There's also epic movie and date movie.
And what about Hangover 2?
Hangover 2 is terrible.
Okay, Hangover
Oh no,
3.
I know where this is going.
Hangover 3.
Terrible.
Identity Thief with, what's her name, Melissa McCarthy?
Has anybody seen that?
I think I have.
The Huntsman, Winter's War. Okay. Chernobyl.
Oh yeah,
Good.
Chernobyl.
It's the same person.
It's the same writer.
No way.
And those are like most of the things he's written. Oh, he did write Rocket Man, which I will stand for. Shout out to Harlan Williams. That's pretty...
The one with the piano guy?
No, Harlan Williams.
Did you just refer to...
Elton John.
Elton John. It's the piano guy.
God damn it. Elton John's the best.
I couldn't think of his name.
Oh,
First of all, Rocket Man, he just hears the song title and goes,
Well,
oh.
isn't his movie called Rocket Man?
yeah. But this was,
And it was great. I love that
this was
movie.
the 90s one.
Oh, I forgot Justin's young.
Also, there's some controversy of whether or not he wrote Borderlands, but I can't really say either way. Anyway, same writer. So, Chernobyl was good. Seems like it was a fluke, but then HBO was just like, we're going to hire this guy to do everything.
That is shocking.
I know, right?
It was a
Scary
great
Movie
thought
4.
experiment. Identity thief
Hangover 2.
Yeah.
at Chernobyl. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like
We're
it.
just supposed to trust him.
So they killed Joel. Pedro Pascal's not in it, which I thought he'd be in it a lot more. But then they doubled down, and Tommy's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They're
What are we
like,
doing?
let's take both of the zaddies out of here.
Yeah. What the fuck are we doing?
They're like, McSteamy and McDreamy are driving the views up too far. Get them out. Let's do some
Yeah.
more dirty apocalyptic finger fun.
And then Ellie goes into that place. I don't know what it is, by herself, and she's chasing.
I was
Was
so
it
confused
Nora?
about that.
And they're like, intruder, and it's like Ellie's just running around like it's no big. Like she knows she's gonna get out of there. Doesn't.
Yeah, she's bippity bopping around.
I did like seeing the spotlights again. That made me want to play the game real bad because you're always hiding from those spotlights.
Makes me want to play the game real bad.
They just run through the spotlights and bullets just raining down on them. And Jesse's like, keep going. What?
Let's guess what location Harry's going to be in this time.
The bathroom. Oh, the kitchen.
Oh my God.
He did switch locations
Fast
again.
travel.
Where are you sitting? Are you on the floor?
I'm
Are you
sitting
doing an
on the
apology?
floor right now. There's, oh my God, no.
Harry's doing a YouTube apology. He's going to go, I'm really sorry for what I said about the pride flags in The Last of Us.
Harry pops up on the next screen. All aboard the toxic master
I am getting
train.
the sense of like a Last of Us 2 video game apology tour happening in the comments. I'm going back and I'm watching all these scenes of how it compared to the game and just kind of refreshing my memory of the game. I'm seeing comments from years ago when the game came out and people were talking shit on the writing of the game, saying like, oh, it doesn't make sense that Dina would have done this in this scene or blah, blah, blah. But then it's also being kind of like overwritten by comments of the show saying the game did it so much better. And
Yeah,
now
I've seen that.
the show is making the game seem like it's a much better written story. And the game is just coming off as something that's like, oh, maybe I do want to play it again after watching the show. Because I didn't really have an intention to play the game again. But if anything, the show it's probably going to make me do it.
So are these people in the woods? Or do they just have like super senses and they can find anybody in the dark woods? It bothered me that they're hiding from these people, and these people are they're holding torches,
Oh, the scar tissue Mennonites.
but they're close enough that it's lighting up their faces. Like Ellie and Dina are looking, and there's like a flame in their face. Like, bitch, get the fuck back. You're way too close.
Even with their flashlights, when they hear the zombies moving around, they're like, let me just shine my flashlight everywhere. It's like, shouldn't you be turning that off and hiding?
That
The
was kind of
flashlight-
creepy, though.
The flashlight usage was reckless.
When the flashlight, when they peer over that box and they're like up in the rafters and their eyes are glowing and shit, it was visually very cool. The scene was stupid.
Visually cool, logistically stupid.
It was the whistles brought back a lot of memories to hear that again. I'd kind of
Yeah.
forgotten all about the whistling until the show came back out, and I'm not saying I like it, but it was just one of those things. It's like, oh, fuck, I remember that.
The park scene was very, like, the set was very well done with the game. Like, I remember that scene in the game very well. But in the show, like, everything's moving so fast through set to set that the pacing feels so off. Like, they go into the scene with all the what are those monsters called where they had the shootout?
Crackly boys?
Watchers.
Stalkers.
Stalkers. They go into that scene. Jesse saves them. Then they're in the park, and then they have a run-in with the Seraphites, and then they split up, and then Ellie sees the hospital, and then next thing I see is she finds Nora.
I was so confused. I thought I missed something because
Same.
she gets shot in the leg, and she goes, take Dina, and suddenly it's just safe to run through the woods, and those people are like, fuck it, we're just gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Even though the other guys won't, the guys with actual machine guns won't go in there because they're so scared of those people, and then this motherfucker just carries Dina out of there like nothing. But then Ellie like looks at a door or something. Like, I don't know what the hell she looked at, and then
It's the door.
Get away from the door.
she's in there. I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did this come to be?
There's no way she would have escaped Bonnie. That Belgian Malinois, no chance.
How is there a door that she can just go into, but the wolves are inside there, and the scars are just out here, and that door's not like locked or watched or anything.
Oh, she
like they're in a
she
war
went to
with
a
them.
crevice. She didn't go in the door. She went in the crevice. Remember when the dog followed her?
I thought that was
And
her
the guy
and
was
Dina.
like, "Oh, that's a critter." No, there was another one. Remember, the dog followed. The dog was like following around, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'll check on it."
I thought that was earlier.
Nope.
It's hard to keep track of what's
Yeah,
happening.
it's jumping around. But when she's running, chasing her through that place, I laughed out loud when she grabs the wheelchair and throws it down the hallway, and Ellie runs into it. It's like straight out of like Three Stooges slapstick comedy.
Like she would have like fallen into it and rolled away.
I couldn't
Yeah, but
believe that they pulled that.
Yeah, and that's where it got to the scene where in the game she was being chased by
Put
the
it in there,
wolves
Chad.
as well.
Packing
And
up.
she gets to a hole in the ground and she has Nora by gunpoint. And you see in the basement it's full of spores.
That's,
and that's
what you were
when
talking about.
she basically says, like, fuck it, this is my only way out. So she pulls Nora in, and that's when you're like, Nora's fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but Nora just runs in there on her own.
you had brought that up
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago. You were like, well, now there's no spores. How are they going to do the scene with a specific character later on? And they introduced
Yeah.
spores, and I almost guarantee they're just going to say fuck off to the spores. I don't think it's going to be
Yeah,
a
they're
big
not coming
thing.
back.
It's just to do that scene.
That will be frustrating if that's
I
true.
think that's what they're going to do.
They do that with so many things in the show.
But the only other alternative was Ellie and Nora get bit together, and Ellie would have been like, I'm not getting infected.
Also, like, closing a door doesn't seal off airflow like that. There's no way that the spores were contained.
Yeah, by an elevator shaft.
Yeah.
The spores, bro.
They trust that the elevator is creating a seal to keep the spores from coming up.
Well, and then the little final thing where Ellie turns to this angry evil thing.
Oh, it's so dumb.
It has not been earned. It hasn't been hinted at. We're just supposed to
You remember
buy it.
me?
Ring the bells!
that she's now
Ring the
this-
bells!
She's now
Yeah.
the psychopath.
You talking about Game of Thrones?
It's Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that because I was like trying to think back to what the recap has been. I was like, did they recap a bunch of little moments where Ellie was kind of angry?
Probably.
You had to really dig to find them.
I'm gonna kill Abby as a voiceover.
Oh, it was so just out of left field.
Yeah, she's just now a psychopath when she's been like a goofy child.
Yeah, making puns and, like, singing songs.
And to Bella's credit, I thought she did good in that scene being angry. I thought that was one of the better acting that Bella did. I think they should have leaned more into her being moody and angry Bella and not happy-go-lucky, bouncy, joke-quipping Bella.
Yeah.
I still am thinking about the wheelchair. I don't know why I thought that was so funny. It reminded me of like Scary Movie or something. It was just so throws the wheelchair down the
Same
hallway.
writer, Justin.
Throws the wheelchair down the hallway and Ellie still runs into it.
Justin, it's the same writer.
Oh.
So it makes sense.
And like it's the writing that made that scene worse than the show, again, worse than the game. Because in the game there wasn't Nora exposition dumping onto Ellie. It was Abby's dad who was gonna find the
Yeah.
cure, and Joel, like, there was a back and forth, but it wasn't so just reiterating everything we already knew.
I love an exposition dump.
I did like when she said Joel killed all those people and then Ellie just goes, I know. That was
Yeah.
That was good.
I
But I knew she knew, so.
I know. I just wish we got more of that Ellie in the show. Just it would have made that scene so much cooler that she's.
But we're about to flash back to Goofball Ellie.
Oh yeah.
Before she ever became a dad.
I kind of wish they would have just hard cut when Ellie like swung the pipe and it goes black. I kind of wish credit rolled, because then after that happens, then it cuts to dream sequence, Joel showing up in the flashback and Ellie getting out of bed like, "Hi, Dad."
Hi, Daddy.
So happy.
Daddy Joel.
Yeah.
It's like, we get it. It used to be nice.
Yeah.
Next week's gonna suck.
I think we were supposed to be like, oh, Pedro Pascal's not going to be out of the show.
Yeah, but we already knew that, so it wasn't the yay moment they thought it was going to be.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised by how
Did-
little he's in it. I thought there was going to be a lot of flashbacks.
Peppered throughout.
Yeah, I did not think that they were going to actually cut him from the show entirely.
They're not.
No, he's going to be in it, but like, it's not enough.
I just have a hard time believing that, like, speaking of end of the world skills, Dina would be more attracted to Ellie than Jesse. Not like a gender issue. It's more just like, you're going to have to survive the apocalypse. The marketable skills of a life partner that Jesse has versus Ellie, it just...
Yeah. Go with Jesse.
Yeah, that is pretty dumb.
Did anyone watch like the after making of interview with Craig Mazin?
I watched part of it.
Mom and
I
Dad
just
watch
didn't-
all of it.
I don't ever like watching those because they sometimes spoil stuff, and
Mom and Dad watch that, but they won't watch our full podcast.
I don't want to really care what they are thinking about it.
Well, I think this one's interesting. I didn't end up watching it, but I read it in a Reddit thread that Craig Mazin mentions, and we'll have to go back and confirm, but he mentions that when Jesse shows up to help Ellie and the light's kind of shining behind him as a silhouette, it was supposed to invoke like Joel helping Ellie.
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't pick up on that at all.
Yeah, like when I was watching it, I'm like, are they trying to make it look like Joel's showing up? Like, what is the point of the scene? And apparently it was supposed to invoke that, but I don't understand what the point of it is. Like, is Jesse supposed to be taking the role of Joel in this situation?
I guess in like the sense of their angsty banter back and forth, where Ellie was like copping a bunch of tood towards him, and they were, you guys are about to die. You don't have to fight this out right now.
I think, unfortunately, I'm starting to turn on the show. Like, I was pretty optimistic going into it.
Were you?
Ah,
I still find it entertaining enough to keep up with
You think it's entertaining?
in a funny way.
Because I'm struggling to get through the episodes.
When they announced this show, I was excited. I'm like, oh, that's going to be a good show to watch.
Yeah, Chernobyl meets The Last of Us. This
Mhm.
is going to be fucking good.
But it's Scary Movie meets The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's so safe and so
It's a
polished.
roll of the dice.
It's CW.
I don't feel any tension. It feels like The Walking Dead.
It's definitely The Walking Dead. Like I said, I just keep picturing that guy with the lion showing up.
I'm seeing the scenes when it's supposed to be this tense thing with stalkers and they think there's one and there's multiple. But within that scene, you have Dina saying, "That's why I love you." And Ellie's like, "You love me?"
You love me?
Oh, I
Stop.
forgot about
But
that.
then they will like cut in a dark thing where someone's getting their guts sliced open.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That scene was unsettling, and I thought they did that really well until they didn't.
But even then, they had to like turn it towards, oh, they're watching somebody getting sliced, and then they had to focus on Dina curling up to Ellie for safety. And it's like, I don't get this out of my face right now. I'm trying to watch the guy get his guts spliced open.
But Dina got shot by one arrow, and then there's no more arrows flying. Who the fuck shot her? The one guy, when they found him, he had like 6 arrows in his stomach. Dina gets shot in the leg by one.
Yeah, because he only had 7 arrows.
I got her.
Plot armor. Yeah, that is a good point that you made, Harry, about wanting to pick up the arrows. But also, why didn't the person who shot them take the arrows?
No, they unloaded 5 of them and were just like,
Just left it. There's no,
Those are used.
no way that they would not
You
leave.
dirty.
They would not leave the arrows.
It's so stupid that the wolves are just talking so openly on their communications, their walkies and stuff. Even if those people don't use technology, you still wouldn't be just giving away your coordinates because anyone could pick up on that.
Yeah, they're talking as if there's no chance anybody's listening to their station.
Mm-hmm. And then Dina's like, that must mean they're like the Amish.
Yeah, she's like, do you know what Amish people are? Ellie's like, no.
The things that they know versus don't know based on the timeline, it's like, well, I don't know if that really, they would know about that particular thing.
They don't know that rainbows are associated with pride. That was dumb.
Yeah.
Because why is there so many rainbows in this town? Maybe it's because they were optimistic.
for sure.
I mean, there was Pride
Yeah.
back in 2003.
Yeah.
Right, and Dina even had a scene where she talked about coming out to her mom. And, like, coming out is a thing in this world.
Which
So,
would
I
have been
don't
a
know.
bigger thing in 2003.
But they don't know what pride is. And they don't know what rainbow flags are.
Also, I don't think there'd be much homophobia in the apocalypse. People would just get it where they could get it. Be kind of like a prison situation.
Stinky theater floor.
Yeah, give me that dirty booty.
Just imagine, like, they're snuggled up, curled up together after the bang session, and then Ellie's fingers are, like, right next to Dina's face when they're
Well,
cuddling.
she reached
just
up and,
smell
like,
it.
she reached up and like wiped her hair away from her face or something.
Just wafting it.
Is there anything else we need to touch on? I got to go to work.
Nope. The show sucks.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
I can't give it total dog shit because that's got to be reserved for like total dog shit. But this is dog shit.
Yeah. They vaped the spores into the air.
Yeah.
At what point is something total dog shit then?
When it's like when we watch Trap.
No.
Because
and it's a bad movie. But
are we intentionally trying to not go to total dog shit? Because this could be total dog shit.
I know, but there are moments of it that aren't.
There are redeeming qualities. Total is like that's
complete and utter.
Yeah.
Like Trap.
Yeah.
Well, Josh Hartnett's good in it.
No, he's not.
Oh,
We
the
have to
merch
watch.
guy.
We have to watch that movie.
Save it.
I have so many thoughts.
That movie sucked.
See, Justin's
Yeah.
the biggest hater. Cody, you're wrong.
Yeah, there's got to be
Do we
a
have a
scale.
scale, or
Chad-
is it like, is it great, or is it total dog shit? I know we set it up like that, but is that actually how it is?
No,
Yeah,
we
'cause-
don't have a great. It's good.
Yeah, because Chad just
There is no better than good.
Chad
Keep trying.
presented this just now as we don't want to put total dog shit on something that's not worth putting total dog shit on. But what's the point then?
We'll find it.
I think we did with The Last of Us.
I think we should still reserve the official, if it is total dog shit or not, until the finale.
We'll see what happens by the end of it.
We'll see. Once we come back for the finale, then we'll see how we feel.
Fine. It's just
Justin's ready to stamp it.
yeah. You guys are forced me to watch this dumbass show.
Hey, Cody, our number one fan, said that we should keep reviewing this show.
Did he?
Yeah.
I wonder if is he
Cody's
watching it?
wrong about Justin, so
I love that every Sunday my phone starts buzzing and it's Gavin and he's just, what the fuck is this, bro? In capital letters. He's angry about it.
okay. I got
Shout out to Gavin.
Shout out to Cody and Gavin and
and mom.
who watches sometimes.
Some of it.
Hi, Mom. Yeah, I said after 100 subscribers, I would get a microphone set up. I think I might have to up it to 500.
Why?
What?
These microphones, the professionals want, like, they're not working properly. I can't imagine I'm going to be able to figure it out.
They're working
guys-
fine, bitch.
I don't know. You're giving me the hard sell.
Make sure you subscribe. Comment. Argue with us in the comments.
Tell us why The Last of Us is not total dog shit.
If Harry gets to a made-up number of subscribers, he'll buy a microphone, apparently.
Yeah, if we get to 500 subscribers, Harry...
He's going to change it to 1,000.
Yeah, which was previously 100.
Oh, speaking of putting the carrot in front of the horse, what happened to Shimmer?
Oh, yeah.
They put Shimmer
they tied him
in
up
the building.
in the record store.
That thing is fucked. It's just going to live there forever.
The last of our horses.
Oh, yeah, the horse. That's who
Yeah, Shimmer.
is. Oh, he's fucked.
It was cute when he was eating grass, though. That was the best part of the whole goddamn show.
Probably was. He was pretty cute.
And the cop dogs.
The
Okay,
dogs,
I got to go for real.
All right, it was total dog shit. We all agree.
Not yet.
Like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah!